Alright, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about factoring. So when you look at something to factor, the very first thing you should look at is, are there any numbers or variables in common all the way across? And so if you look at this very first one here, you have 3x squared minus 9x. And so when I see that, what I'm wondering is, okay, there are numbers in common between 3 and 9. I also see this has x squared, this has x. And so the first thing I would do is take out the 3x. Now, whatever you take out, you can always verify that it works, because if you multiply it back together, you should get back what you started. So 3x squared minus 9x. On the second one, you have 4x squared plus 8x plus 20. All right, it has three terms. I don't see variables in common all the way across, but there is a number in common. All right, so I'm going to take out this 4. And if I take out a 4, I need to make sure that if I multiply it back, I get back what I started. 4x squared, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 5 is 20. On this last one, I've got two terms. Doesn't have any numbers, but there is an a in common. So I'm going to take an a out. Now, it's very common with students that when you take the a out, they think it's gone. But it's not gone. It's taken out. But there's still a 1 in there, because a times a is a squared. And you need a times this minus 1 to give you the minus a back. All right, if there's nothing in common, then the next thing to look at is how many terms does your problem have? All right, if it has only two terms, two terms can mean it's the difference of two squares. So x squared minus 9, well, that's an x minus 3 and an x plus 3. X times x is x squared. Minus 3 times positive 3 is a minus 9. So it's like the square root of each piece. So 4x squared minus 25. All right, this would be a 2x and a 2x, because 2 times 2 is a 4x squared. 5 times 5 is a 25. And again, I've got this minus and a plus. Now, if you have x squared plus 4, that's not factorable. And if I had x squared minus 4, that is factorable as x minus 2 and x plus 2. So notice the difference. If there's a plus connecting them, it's not factorable. If there's a minus connecting them, it is factorable. Next, do I have three terms? And that's where the hard part comes in. I've got three terms. There's no variables or numbers in common. When I factor it, I am looking for four things to fill in. The first times the first has got to give you x squared. The last times the last has got to give you this positive 10. And the hard part, if I combine the middle and I combine the outside, they have to add together to give you a minus 7x. All right, so let's take a look. What if I factored it as x plus 10 and x plus 1? Well, X times x, yes, x squared. 10 times 1, yep, it does give me the 10, but if you look at the middle and you look at the outside and you add those up, you would get 10x plus 1x, which is 11x, and that's not the middle term. All right, what if I try to factor it in a different way? All right, well, let's see. X times x, x squared. A minus 5 times a minus 2, yes, that is a plus 10. And now if I look at the middle and the outside, I would have a minus 5x, and I'm adding that to a minus 2x, and I do get the minus 7x. Now on the last one, it's much more complicated because I have a 6x squared on the front. And a 6x squared on the front is 6 and 1, and also 3 times 2. The number on the end is a 4, which is a 4 times 1, or a 2 times 2. And because it's a negative 4, that means one of these numbers has got to be negative. So again, I'm looking for 4 things to fill in. Is there anything that tells me what to fill in? Sadly, the answer is no. I just have to try different combinations. I started off trying the 3x and a 2x. For the 4, I'm going to try the 4 and the 1. Now, I picked the signs based on knowing I need to get a plus in the middle. Because right now I'd have a plus 4 times a 2. That would give me an 8x. And if I look at the outside, that would give me a minus 3x. And 8x add a minus 3x is the plus 5x in the middle. So sometimes you're lucky. You can hit the correct factorization on the first try. There are no secret ways to get there. You just have to remember first times first has got to give you the first piece. Last times last with the signs must give you this last piece. The complicated part is the inside multiplied added to the outside multiplied must give you this middle piece. I wish there were some shortcuts, but there really aren't. I hope this was helpful.